What if the real reason you feel slower, less stable, or less confident after 60 is not age itself, but silence? The silence of muscles that were once powerful and are now underused. The body does not betray us with time. It simply adapts to what we stop asking of it. And one of the first places it adapts is the glutes, the largest and most influential muscles in the human body. After 60, we naturally lose muscle mass through a process known as sarcopenia. But what is rarely discussed is how profoundly this affects the gluteal muscles, the engines of posture, balance, and forward motion. When these muscles weaken, walking becomes cautious, stairs feel steeper, even standing upright requires more effort. The loss is not merely physical, it touches independence itself. Before we start, comment below. Which daily activity feels hardest for you right now? Walking, climbing stairs, or standing up without support? And if you know someone over 60 who would benefit from this, share this video with them. Because strength after 60 isn't just about movement, it's about freedom. Today, I want to explore 5 essential movements, simple, accessible, and deeply effective, that reawaken these powerful muscles without a gym, without machines, and without strain. When you lie on your back and place your feet firmly on the floor, something deceptively simple begins to unfold. The glute bridge may look modest, almost too gentle to matter, yet biologically it is one of the most intelligent movements for rebuilding strength after 60. As you press your heels downward and slowly lift your hips toward the ceiling, you are performing hip extension, a fundamental human movement pattern that drives walking, climbing, and rising from a seated position. With age, prolonged sitting and reduced physical demand weaken the gluteus maximus, the primary muscle responsible for this extension. When that muscle becomes underactive, the lower back and hamstrings often compensate, leading to stiffness, discomfort, and instability. The bridge restores proper muscular hierarchy. It retrains the nervous system to recruit the glutes first, rather than forcing smaller structures to overwork. This is not merely about lifting the hips. It is about intentional contraction. At the top of the movement, when the body forms a straight line from shoulders to knees, holding for a few seconds stimulates dormant muscle fibers and enhances neuromuscular coordination. Blood flow increases. Muscle protein synthesis is triggered. The brain strengthens its communication pathways with the lower body. Performed slowly and consistently, the glute bridge improves pelvic stability, reduces strain on the lumbar spine, and enhances stride efficiency during walking. It teaches the body to generate force safely from the hips, where power is meant to originate. Even more importantly, it rebuilds trust. Each controlled repetition reminds the body that it still possesses strength, that adaptation works in both directions, and that decline is not inevitable when movement is deliberate and practiced with awareness. Consider the simple act of rising from a chair. It appears ordinary, almost too routine to qualify as exercise, yet biomechanically it is one of the most revealing indicators of lower body strength and functional independence after 60. The sit-to-stand movement demands coordinated activation of the gluteus maximus, quadriceps, and core stabilizers. When performed without using the hands for assistance, it becomes a precise assessment of how effectively the hips can generate force. We age, reduced activity, and prolonged sitting diminish the strength and responsiveness of the glutes. The nervous system gradually recruits them less efficiently, allowing momentum or arm support to compensate. Over time, this compensation weakens the kinetic chain. The sit-to-stand reverses that pattern. By positioning the feet hip-width apart, leaning slightly forward to align the center of mass over the feet, and pressing through the heels to rise, the hips are retrained to extend powerfully and safely. The forward lean is not a flaw, it is physics. Shifting the torso slightly creates mechanical advantage, reducing strain on the knees and directing load toward the glutes where it belongs. Each controlled ascent stimulates muscle fibers responsible for daily mobility. Each slow descent Equally important, builds eccentric strength, teaching the muscles to resist gravity with stability rather than collapse. Repeated consistently, this movement improves balance, enhances joint integrity, and increases confidence in transitional motions. It strengthens the exact pattern required for getting out of a car, rising from a sofa, or standing after tying a shoe. Beneath its simplicity lies profound neurological retraining, a restoration of communication between brain and hips, reinforcing autonomy through deliberate, repeated motion. Now imagine stepping 1 foot gently backward instead of forward. This subtle change in direction transforms the mechanics of a traditional lunge. The step-back lunge shifts demand away from the knee and into the hip, where the gluteal muscles are designed to absorb and generate force. For adults over 60, this distinction matters. Forward lunges can increase shear stress on the knee joint, particularly if balance or quadriceps strength is limited. Stepping backward reduces that stress while increasing activation of the gluteus maximus and the smaller stabilizing muscles surrounding the pelvis. As the back foot moves behind you and the front heel stays grounded, the body must control both descent and alignment. The glutes engage eccentrically to stabilize the hip as you lower, preventing the knee from collapsing inward and maintaining proper tracking. This lateral stability is critical because many falls originate not from forward movement but from side-to-side instability. The nervous system plays a quiet but vital role here. When balance is challenged, sensory receptors in the feet, hips, and inner ear communicate rapidly with the brain to maintain equilibrium. Practicing the step-back lunge refines this communication. It strengthens proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space, which naturally declines with age. Performed slowly, with support from a wall or chair if needed, this movement teaches the hips to control motion rather than react to instability. Over time, it builds resilience in the connective tissues and improves stride mechanics. Each repetition reinforces coordinated strength, reminding the body that stability is not accidental, but trained through deliberate, mindful motion. Now shift your attention to a movement that appears almost effortless, lying on your side and lifting the top leg slowly toward the ceiling. The side-lying leg raise is subtle, controlled, and often underestimated. Yet it directly targets the gluteus medius, a muscle essential for pelvic stability and balanced walking. Unlike the larger gluteus maximus, which drives powerful hip extension, the gluteus medius works quietly in the background, stabilizing the pelvis every time 1 foot leaves the ground. When this muscle weakens, the pelvis tilts with each step. The body compensates by leaning sideways, placing strain on the lower back and increasing the risk of imbalance. This subtle instability may not be noticeable at first, but over time it alters gait mechanics and reduces confidence in movement. Strengthening the gluteus medius restores alignment and symmetry, allowing the hips to function as stable anchors rather than shifting structures. In the side-lying position, keeping the hips stacked and the cord gently engaged ensures that the movement isolates the intended muscle rather than relying on momentum. The lift should be deliberate, no higher than the point where the pelvis begins to rotate. Holding briefly at the top enhances neuromuscular recruitment, awakening fibers that have grown inactive through prolonged sitting. As repetitions accumulate, circulation improves, and the neural pathways controlling lateral stability become more refined. The result is not dramatic motion but refined control. Walking becomes smoother. Standing on one leg feels steadier. The body regains its ability to resist side-to-side sway, reinforcing the foundation upon which confident, independent movement depends. Now consider the quiet discipline of holding a squat against a wall. Your back rests gently on the surface, your feet positioned slightly forward, knees bent to a comfortable angle. There is no dramatic motion, no visible exertion beyond stillness. Yet beneath that stillness, profound muscular engagement unfolds. The wall-supported squat hold is an isometric contraction, meaning the muscles generate tension without changing length. For adults over 60, this form of strength training offers a safe and efficient way to build endurance in the glutes and surrounding stabilizers without excessive joint strain. As you settle into the position, the gluteus maximus and quadriceps activate simultaneously to maintain alignment. The core stabilizes the spine, while the hips work to prevent inward collapse of the knees. This sustained tension improves muscular endurance, a quality often more relevant to daily life than explosive power. Standing in line, walking through a grocery store, or maintaining posture during conversation all depend on the ability to sustain low-level muscular effort. Physiologically, isometric holds increase motor unit recruitment and enhance tendon stiffness, improving the transfer of force across joints. Blood flow adapts to repeated tension, and the neuromuscular system becomes more efficient at maintaining posture under load. Importantly, the wall provides feedback and security, allowing individuals to focus on controlled breathing and proper alignment rather than fear of imbalance. As seconds pass in the hold, the body learns patience under tension. Muscles that once fatigued quickly begin to tolerate sustained effort. Stability deepens, joint integrity improves, and the hips reclaim their role as dependable pillars of support within the kinetic chain.